Groupthink is a psychological phenomenon that occurs within a group of people in which the desire for harmony or conformity in the group results in an irrational or dysfunctional decision-making outcome. Group members try to minimize conflict and reach consensus decision without critical evaluation of alternative viewpoints by actively suppressing dissenting viewpoints and by isolating themselves from outside influences. Groupthink requires individuals to avoid raising controversial issues or alternative solutions, and there is loss of individual creativity, uniqueness, and independent thinking. The dysfunctional group dynamics of the in-group produce an illusion of invulnerability, which is an inflated certainty that the right decision has been made. Thus, the in-group significantly overrates its own abilities in decision-making and significantly underrates the abilities of its opponent, which is the out-group. Furthermore, groupthink can produce dehumanizing actions against the out-group. Antecedent factors such as group cohesiveness, faulty group structure, and situational context is an example for community panic that play into the likelihood of whether or not group thinking will impact the decision-making process. Groupthink is a construct of social psychology but has an extensive reach and influence literature in the fields of communication studies, political science, management, and organizational theory, as well as important aspects of deviant religious cult behavior. Groupthink is sometimes stated to occur more broadly within the community, for example, to explain the lifelong different mindsets of conservatives versus liberals, or the solidarity nature of introverts. However, this conformity of viewpoints within a group does not mainly involve deliberate group decision-making and might be better explained by the collective confirmation bias of the individual members of the group.
Next, I will explain about the groupthink test table. As we know that groupthink is the phenomenon in which the way of approaching problem or matter are dealt by the consensus of the group rather than individuals acting independently. So here we can see there are three types of groupthink test table, which is the type 1, overestimation of the group, is power and morality, type 2, close-mindedness, and the last one, type 3, pressure towards uniformity. Now I will explain about the type 1 and the type 2. Type 1, overestimated of the groups, is its power and morality. The first aspect here, which is the illusion of invulnerability, creating excessive optimism and encouraging risk-taking. The second is the unquestioned belief in the morality of the group, causing members to ignore the consensus of the action. Next is the type 2, close-minded, which is the first one is rationalizing warning that might challenges to the group assumption, and the second one is stereotyping those who that might challenge to the group assumption. Next, I will pass to my friend.
Part 3. Pressure toward uniformity. In this part, it has a 4 symptoms, which is first, self-censorship, second, illusion of anonymity, third, pressure, and lastly, mind gap. Self-censorship. In this symptom, victims avoid deviating from what the group consensus is and always keep quiet. Victims also feel doubt and concern about the group are not expressed, and victims of groupthink may undermine the importance of validity of their doubt. Next, illusion of anonymity. In this symptom, victims of a groupthink share an illusion of anonymity that the majority view and the judgment of the group are unanimous. Pressure. Victims in the group will apply direct pressure to any individual who momentarily express concern or doubt about the group shared view. So, the members on the group are not able to express their own individual argument against the group. For the last one is mind guard. Victims of groupthink may appoint themselves to protect the group and the group leader from information that may be problematic or contradictory to the group views, decision, or cohesiveness.
So now I will present about the cause of the groupthink, and now we look at the slide. We have three of that, which is the first one is the high group cohesiveness, and the second one is the structural defaults, and the third was the situational context. So right now let's go to the next slide. So we look at the first slide, which is tell us about the first point, which is the high group cohesiveness. So the individuations means that the group cohesiveness becomes more important than the individual freedom of the expressions. From this point, I can conclude that and summarize that the high level of cohesiveness decrease the amount of the verbal dissension within the tight group due to the interpersonal pressure to conform. In addition, this high level of cohesiveness also creates self-censorship and apparent anonymity within the group. Normally, group dissension of this is necessary for good decision making. It is because it introduces different perspectives to the decision-making process. In the absence of disagreement, alternative choice for action are never considered. So I think that was the high group cohesiveness for the first point. So we look at the next slide. So we at the second point with the structural faults. It was divided into the 3 points beside that. Which is the lack of impartial leaderships, lack of norm requiring methodology procedures, and homo backgrounds, genetic of the members social. So we look at first at the lack of impartial leaderships. Actually, when we are in the group to discuss a problem or solution, of course it will usually happen which is a biased leadership, alright? That oversees only the idea that the right or the ideas that it's only support. However, with the group thing, in a group, we can avoid that matter when the majority does not agree by the voice. We voice that matter and giving the correct opinion, we have the right in the group. And then we look at the homogeneity of the member social backgrounds. Sometimes these humans like to judge the people based on their appearance. We know that don't judge the book by its cover, right? But actually do not base on we do not analyze or think about their brilliant ideas. That's why it was one of the cause of the group thing should do. Maybe with this group thing, it can be fair to accept all the ideas of the group member. So it was the structural faults in this point. So on the next slide, which is tell us about the situational context, it explains us about the highly stressful external threats, making a task and moral dilemma, recent failure, and the excessive difficult on the decisions. So based on the 4 points, I can summarize that when a group is forced to make an important decision, each individual within the group often harbors a certain amount of the insecurity. In addition that, often without being aware, member of group will attempt to reduce these decisionals stress through any possible means. Since this insecurity is lessened if the decision is made quickly and with a little disagreement, the group can easily rationalize a decision because there of the minimal amount of the dissension within the group. The positive consequences of the group's decision serve as the main focus, while there is a minimization of negative outcomes. Concentrating on a minor detail on a group decisions or action is a way in which the group can overlook larger issues that may need attention. In the high-pressure group decision-making, attempt by the member to reduce the stress associated with the decision-making often result in a group. So I think that's all for me. Thank you.
How do you overcome the groupthink, or how to prevent it? It is some way. First, increase the awareness. The first step toward prevention is to make people aware of what groupthink is, as well as how and why it can occur. Next, engage in open discussion. Create a culture where employees or members are encouraged to critically analyze situations and proactively share information and provide the feedback. Next, assign a devil advocate. Ask one or more team members to play the role of devil advocate to ensure all sides of a topic are explored and discussed. Or divide the group into two and ask one team to present the pros and the other team to present the cons of each option. Last, bring in subject matter experts. Invite the expert into meeting. When the topic is of high importance, internal or external subject matter experts can help to ensure a full understanding of all angles, consequence, and option or alternative. So, eliminating groupthink leads to better, more informed decision and allow for healthy conflict. This allows for more effective and efficient groups. That's all from us. Thank you.